Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hartford Whalers expansion franchise here on NHL 24. In this episode, we're going to try and breeze through the preseason as quickly as possible. We're going to just probably condense like 2 or 3 games together, simulate the rest. And here to start, I'll just kind of highlight our roster and what we're going to look for in this preseason. On the top line, we're going to mix it with these lines a bunch. I mean, obviously it's a preseason, so we're just going to throw some things around, see what sticks. We're going to start with Leo Carlsson here on the top line, the 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft. Our first ever NHL entry draft selection in this series. Not much progression there in year 2, although we are expecting a big jump here from the 20-year-old former 4th overall pick. He'll be accompanied here by the captain Andrew Mangiapane, and then Jacob Perrault, who we selected from Anaheim in episode 1 in the expansion draft. He spent 2 years in our AHL with the Poughkeepsie Panthers. Last year, 55 points. And he might be ready to jump up to the NHL roster. He's really contending here with Graeme Clark, who he also selected in the expansion draft from the Devils in episode 1. He had a good season last year, 53 points of his own. So Clark and Perrault are going to battle here as we look to replace JT Compher, who we traded away in the past episode during the offseason. We need another right-handed shot, each of them right-handed snipers who can play a little bit of center. So we'll see who carries away with the job here in the preseason. With Clark on the second line, we'll have the newly signed Sam Steele. He comes over after winning a Stanley Cup with the Minnesota Wild, and he's a left-handed shot playmaker who we will probably throw on the third line or so in the regular season. Connor McMichael's also battling for a roster spot. He's played in 81 games over the last 2 seasons, only 17 points. So he had a very strong preseason last year, which kind of earned him a roster spot to start. But after low production in the regular season, we kind of moved on from him and threw some other guys out there. On the third line, we'll have Jake Evans and Nolan Patrick. Each of them will likely be on the 3rd or 4th line. And here's Will Cuylle. He was very strong in the preseason last year, just didn't quite earn a spot. And he was very strong there with Poughkeepsie last year, as was Perrault and Clark. So those are 3 guys who were not on the roster last year, although at least one, maybe 2 of them will be for this season. And then the 4th line for now is Zadina, Lawton, and the newly signed Brock Boeser. Obviously, in the regular season, he'll be higher up our lines, but for now in the preseason, we'll just keep him down below. We don't really need to see him too much. He signed a 3-year, $5.6 million deal. Comes over from the Winnipeg Jets after he was traded there at last year's deadline. 14 points in 18 games with them. We kind of hope that his ability as a goal scorer can help replace the loss of Patrick Kane, who moved on to the Boston Bruins. Sammy Maki, the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NHL draft. He missed the last 14 games last year due to injury and did play a little. He played 5 games in the playoffs. 12 points in his rookie year. Obviously more of a defensive defenseman, but hopefully he can kind of get his offensive production up a little bit and improve here in year 2 of his career. He'll be with Tyson Barrie, Dmitry Orlov here on the second unit with Samuel Bolduc. And Bolduc, like Clark, Perrault, the aforementioned Will Cuylle, he was also selected in the expansion draft in episode 1. He has spent the last 2 years developing there in the AHL. A very good season there. And he has 17 games of NHL experience, looking to solidify a role here on our blue line. Ivan Provorov was signed as a free agent, and pretty cheap deal. I mean, $5.45 million for 3 years. We think that's going to end up being a very team-friendly deal as he comes over from Columbus. He'll likely be on our first or second pairing throughout the regular season. Daniil Tarasov, our 3rd-string goalie throughout this series, will get to start in Game 1 of the preseason. He's going to open up in the AHL as the starter there. If Mrazek here or Jacob Markstrom get hurt, Tarasov will be the next guy up. Right now for scratches, we have Foligno, Arvidsson, and Gage Gonzalez, who's also kind of battling for a roster spot here, although he's kind of on the outside looking in compared to guys like Perrault, Clark, and Cuylle. And then for now in the AHL, we just have Scheifele, Tom Wilson. We're not going to play them quite yet, along with Issa Lindell, three starters for us, and Jacob Markstrom there at goalie. But I just wanted to kind of show you a little recap of what we're working with. And throughout the offseason, like I said, we signed Brock Boeser, Ivan Provorov, Mrazek as a backup goalie, as well as Sam Steele. So we're going to simulate these first 2 games of the preseason as we start here against the Philadelphia Flyers, who had the number 1 overall pick this past offseason after winning the draft lottery. So we jump up 2-1. A shorthanded goal from Samuel Bolduc just over a minute into the game. Scott Laughton adds one against his former club. We added 2 more there. Scott Laughton gets another one, this time on the power play. And Jacob Perrault, his first goal of the preseason, as we said, in a battle here with Graeme Clark. And that'll do it here. Daniil Tarasov stops 24 out of 25 as he's named the second star. Samuel Bolduc, a shorthanded goal, 4 hits, and 2 goals here for Scott Laughton. Good start to the preseason, and now we're going to advance a day. And I think we'll throw Mrazek in for this one. So now we have Mrazek on to make his first start of the preseason as he takes over as our backup goalie for Scott Wedgwood, who left in free agency, signing with the Blue Jackets. Mrazek allows 2 there in the first, 8 seconds apart. Allows another one there in the second. Let's see if we can get on the board. And we do get shut out, 33 shots on goal. But Darcy Kemper, the reigning Vezina Trophy winner, with a shutout in his first preseason appearance, picking up right where he left off from last season. So the Whalers split their first 2 preseason games, and we're now here in Carolina as we'll get a condensed look at this Hartford team. Like I said earlier, we're not going to watch the full game or anything like that, but we're just going to jump into this and see what stands out. So we'll watch this first opening faceoff here, as we have moved Graeme Clark up to the first line and just moved Perrault down to the second, kind of just to even it out here in that competition. As a quick shot there for Svechnikov, saved there by Arthur Seelovs. Toffoli now a chance blocked in front, and then another chance pad saves Seelovs into the corner for Toffoli as Graham picks up that one. Now back behind the net for Tyson Barrie. Barrie over for Clark, up to Sammy Maki, the former first overall pick here for Hartford. Brent Burns now takes it up for the Hurricanes. Over to Svechnikov, a shot. A lot of pressure here for Seelovs. Burns now to Graves. Graves, a shot from the point, goes wide. Sammy Maki picks that up, gives to Graeme Clark. Hartford takes it out, finally, into Carolina territory. Although Graeme Clark turns it over as Burns gives here to Svechnikov. Svechnikov works his way in a shot. Blocker saved by Seelovs. Now Clark back with it. Graeme Clark now some room in front. Stalls out, wraps around a shot, and Kochetkov saves that one. Sam Steele now on the draw against Jordan Stahl. And Stahl will body him off that one. There we see Jacob Perrault outmanning there Shane Gostisbehere. We like that physical play. Jacob Perrault with a goal in Game 1 here in the preseason. Centering pass there for Stahl, poked away by Seelovs. And Arthur Seelovs, we drafted him in the expansion draft from Vancouver. Unless he gets a big step forward here in the AHL, as he'll be the backup there for Daniil Tarasov, we'll probably part ways with him, as we do have Javon Marks in our system waiting to be signed, a second-round goalie we selected from last year. Now, Perrault a chance here, 2-on-1 for Hartford. His wrist shot, pad save. Bortuzzo gives there to Shore as the Hurricanes work their way in. Shore a chance, blocked in front. There's Will Cuylle, number 50, as he'll pick it up now. Will Cuylle selected from the Rangers in the expansion draft. Centering pass there for Boeser, and a great save by Kochetkov. Boeser back with it. Now Laughton to Boeser in front. And good defense there by Carolina, just able to force some congestion there. Good chances there from Boeser, Cuylle, a strong shift as well. And yeah, Laughton had a chance on the rebound, but Kochetkov closes that one down. Sammy Maki a feed over for Carlson as he'll take it up. Carlson regains it. Pass over for Mangiapane for Clark. Nice puck movement as Mangiapane, another chance. And Kochetkov is playing very strong here in the first period. Toffoli now with it for the Hurricanes. To Burns. Now Nichis. A rip. And that's blocked away by Seelovs. Nichis back for Svechnikov. And Seelovs plays that one and keeps the play in front of him for 2 very good saves there. Now just 4:38 left here in the second period. Carolina doing a good job here on the faceoff so far. Sam Steele does take that one. Tyson Barrie now for the Whalers. Intercepted in the neutral zone. Ponomarev gives over to Suzuki. Suzuki, a centering pass. And that's off the post and in! A bang shot for Ponomarev. And the Hurricanes jump ahead 1-0 here in the preseason. Seelovs was playing very, very strong hockey up to that point. And even that one, you can't fault him too much. It does go past his pad, though. Off the post and into the goal. Let's take another look at this one. Yep, banked off the post into the net. Carolina now up by 1. Noah Gunler now for the Hurricanes. Centering pass. Hinostroza shot wide. Now Stahl. In front for Gunler. Another chance. And we're not giving any help here for Seelovs. He had to stop a few right in front of the net there. Now Sammy Mackey battling for it in the corner. Gunler back with it. Back to the point for Pesce. And Pesce loses a handle. Perrault gives to McMichael. McMichael hit off the puck as Stahl takes it over. Now Pesce up for Gunler. Poked away along the boards. Tyson Barrie with it as he'll give over for Perrault. This line very tired for Hartford. We got to get a line change. Perrault over for Jake Evans as he's hit hard and closed off the puck. Martone now for Carolina. I think he might be a rookie. I think he might have been their first round pick, but don't quote me on that. And that'll bring us to the end here of the first period. Our first looking at this team here in year 3 as we're down 1-0 here in game 3 of the preseason. Seelovs some very strong saves, but we need to help him out in front. Now a chance here for Carolina to start the second period. Graves back to the point for Burns. Svechnikov back for Nichis. Now to Graves. To Foley. Foley works his way in. A glove save by Seelovs as he robs Tyler Toffoli an opportune chance in front. Nichis now with it for Carolina. His shot. Pad save. Carolina with the extra attacker out here with a delayed penalty. Burns' shot. Another save by Seelovs. Carolina's still with it. Brent Burns now for Svechnikov. Gostisbehere for Graves. A shot deflected into the corner. We cannot get a stoppage here. And finally, Graeme Clark gets possession as he'll go to the box 2 minutes for slashing. Hartford now on another penalty kill as they allowed a goal their first time out. And Samuel Bolduc will go. A delay of game. You love to see that. Now we'll be down 5-on-3 for 1:54. Lawton does win a timely face-off there as we are able to get it out. And just kill a little bit as Pesce will take it back in. Pesce loses possession here for Sean Walker. Walker tries to get the clear. Suzuki keeps it in. And now Scott Lawton takes it the other way. A chance. Scott Lawton works in his way in towards the net. And he can't get a clean shot off there. And it looks like Hartford will kill off. Another chance here. Hinostroza pushes Orlov off the puck. Seelovs a poke check as he survives that opportunity. Graeme Clark now with it as he comes out of the box. And Hartford kills off those 2 power plays. Walker turns it over. A shot for Martone. And another quick save by Seelovs. Can't say enough about how good he's been so far in this game. Zadina with it now. Peels back. Pass for Lawton in front. And Boeser scores! What a generation there by Zadina. Turned away from a man, fed Scott Lawton in front. And then Lawton, that last pass there for Boeser. I'm not sure if he meant to pass that one or not, but it works out as Brock Boeser finds the net. And yeah, that might have been a Lawton goal if Boeser didn't hit that one in at the last second. And it was sliding in regardless, I think, but Boeser just wanted to make sure. His first goal here as a member of the Hartford Whalers. We'll skip ahead here as Hartford committed their 4th penalty of the game. Carolina back out there on the power play. That's kept in. Burns now works his way towards the net. A shot. And another glove save by Seelovs. Now 4-on-4 hockey. Carolina commits their first penalty of the day. Zadina, a quick shot. Blockered away by Kochikov. Zadina still with it. Gets persistence here. Now works his way in front of backhand chance. Blocked. As maybe a cross crease there for Patrick would have been a more efficient play there. Now Zadina gets it back. Gives to Patrick. And Hartford now on the power play for 45 seconds. Brown back for Gostisbehere. I think that's Josh Brown, number 3 for Carolina, defenseman who we took from Arizona in the expansion draft, although he only played 1 season for us. Now Zadina with it as he's poked away. There's Josh Brown, the former Hartford Whaler. Nietzsche clears it out as Carolina will kill off their first penalty of the day. Now we'll skip ahead in the period. Just about a minute left here in the second. Jacob Perrault a chance as he enters. Shot, pad save. And there was a rebound for McMichael, although Brent Burns was in the right spot to corral that one. Now Jordan Stahl a chance as he's closed off by Tyson Barrie. Time ticks down here as we're at 7 seconds now in the period. Let's see if Hartford can get another rush here and get a quick shot off. McMichael with it. 1 second left. Pass there in the slot for Steele. And a good save there by Kochetkov at the buzzer. We do get one here. A crafty play there by Zadina as Brock Boeser finished for his first goal. We'll head into the third period tied 1-1. Toffoli now for Carolina. Closed off by Sami Maki. Good defensive play from him. Svechnikov takes it back though in the neutral zone as Carolina a chance here. Good recovery there by Mangiapane. Takes it back from the guy who took it from him. Now Carolina back with it. Some very strong play in the neutral zone. Nietzsche hit there by Tyson Barrie. Now Toffoli with it in the corner. Back to the point. And good play there by Carlson as he gives to Maki. Now Graeme Clark. A nice feed across from Mangiapane. And Mangiapane on a breakaway. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why he didn't take a shot. Tried to pass it back as that was a wasted opportunity. Carolina takes it the other way as they'll commit a slashing penalty. Hartford will go to the power play. Provorov with it now. Orlov a shot from the point. And that goes in off the rebound. Filip Zadina. And he's been phenomenal in this game. The baseball swing there off the rebound. And Hartford takes a 2-1 lead here. Orlov a rip from the point. Save Kochetkov. And then look at Zadina coming over. And that he was so nonchalant about that. Easy money for Zadina. That's awesome. He had a career year last season. And hopefully he can continue to put up some good offensive production. And that was on 4-on-4 hockey as Sam Steele committed a penalty for us. Now short chance on a breakaway. And he's denied by Seelovs. And we did skip ahead in the action a little bit. Carolina tied it up. Now McMichael takes it in. Keeps possession, a chance in front. And he's stoned by Kochetkov. The Hartford Whalers have been pretty good at generating some chances here. Especially in the second and third period. Carolina got this bear from the point. Blocked by Nolan Patrick. And Patrick takes it the other way. Shakes him in and now enters the zone. Nolan Patrick centering a pass for Cuylle, a shot and a save by Kochetkov. That was a quick rip there by Will Cuylle. Now we'll skip ahead in the action. Hartford on a power play here. A rip there from Graeme Clark goes wide. Just over 3 minutes left in regulation. 20 seconds on the power play in this tie hockey game. Josh Brown with it behind the net. Held up there by Graeme Clark. And Stahl will clear the zone. Now a minute 30 left. Svechnikov taking it up for Carolina. Works his way close and Steelovs a save there to preserve this tie game. 1:13 now left in the third. Carolina wins the faceoff here. Time for one more shot. Brent Burns to Graves, a rip. And that's sticked away by Seelovs. And that'll force us into overtime here in the game 3 of the preseason. 2-2 at the end here of regulation. Now we'll get it started here in overtime with Leo Carlsson on the draw. Brock Boeser and Tyson Barrie out there. And Nietzsche's a chance right off the faceoff here for the win. And he gets the job done. I don't know if anyone was watching Tyson Barrie there, but he totally pulled away and just left the front of the net wide open. We've really struggled in 3-on-3 overtimes here throughout this series, and I don't know what it's going to take to get us on track in that aspect. So this is our first look at this Hartford team here in year 3, as we're just about halfway through the preseason now. So we fall there in overtime against Carolina. We're now 1-1-1 through 3 games of this preseason. We'll sim another one here against New York, as we'll put Daniil Tarasov back in net. And of course the Islanders were the team to knock us off in round 2 of the playoffs this past year. They did go on to appear in the Stanley Cup, although they fell in 5 to Minnesota as the Wild won their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. We jump up 1-0 here. Victor Arvidsson scores on Yaroslav Halak, as this is Arvidsson's first game in the preseason. Then Samuel Bolduc gets his second, and Graeme Clark gets his first. So 2 guys vying for roster spots with goals there in the second period as Bolduc scores against his former team. And then we get 2 more there as Orlov and Zadina net empty netters. Zadina gets one with 1 second left. The Islanders had 2 early goals, made it 3-2, but Tarasov was able to hold down the stretch and finish for the win. He stopped 31 of 33 shots. Mangiapane, the second star, 2 assists and 5 hits. Now we're 2-1-1, exactly halfway through the preseason, 4 games left, and we're going to shuffle the lines a little bit. We haven't done too much based on what we started with, but now after 4 games, we're going to mix some combinations up. Now we have adjusted the lines a little bit for these next few games, and I'll give you just a quick look at what we've done. So for the last game 4, we inserted Gage Gonzalez into the lineup on the 4th line, and he had 2 apples down there to +2, along with Jake Evans and Filip Zadina. So we'll just move them up to the first line here, get Gonzalez a little more ice time here in the preseason. On the second line, we have Will Cuylle, no points so far, with Sam Steele and Graeme Clark. Steele also with no points, although Clark does have 1 goal, and he has been fairly impressive. Right now, he does hold the lead in this position battle with Jacob Perrault, also with 1 goal here. He's going to be on the 3rd line with Nolan Patrick and Leo Carlsson. Then we'll have Marcus Foligno in for his first appearance here in the preseason. I mean, at age 34, we know exactly what he brings to the table. He's our enforcer, our grinder, and the guy we lean on to fight. I think he did lead the league in fights last season. Connor McMichael, it's not looking good for him. He might open the season as a healthy scratch. And then we have Victor Arvidsson down there, a goal in his first appearance. On defense, Sammy Maki has been on the top line throughout. A -4. Him and Tyson Barrie did not really mesh well so far. So we put Provorov up to the top line with Maki. Provorov, 4 assists so far, a +4. Samuel Bolduc has been very good, 2 goals in 4 games, a +4. We'll have him with Tyson Barrie here as we try to get Barrie's plus-minus up. Then back here we have Orlov and Walker, 2 veterans, and we're going to go with Arthur Seelovs in this game. We saw that we saw some of his performance in the live look-in in that overtime loss to Carolina. So we will sim these next 3, and then we'll play the Devils in our preseason finale. So here against Pittsburgh, they scored twice, Zucker and Nick Bonino. And then they get 3 in the second, Appleton, Gensel. McMichael does get 1. He has a little life here in the preseason. And then we give up 2 more there, 1 on an empty net. Gonzalez gets a goal. McMichael another one, this time shorthanded, so a nice game from him. And Provorov gets his first of the preseason as well. Not a good performance from Seelovs, and that's probably going to be his last outing here in this preseason. He'll open in Poughkeepsie. And yeah, he gave up 6 goals on 27 shots. Not a good performance from him. Now for Game 5 here, the preseason, we're actually going to go with Daniil Tarasov again. He's 2-0 with a .950 save percentage and a 1.5 goals against so far this preseason. 2-2 there after the first. Victor Arvidsson and Zadina net 2 early ones. And then Barabanov and Boone Jenner, 2 late ones to knot it up. And there you see Scott Wedgwood in net for the Blue Jackets, our former backup goaltender for year 1 and year 2 of this franchise. We get 1 there in the second. Sam Steele, his first goal of this preseason. And then we close strong there as Tarasov stops 32 of 34 shots against his former team nonetheless. And he was the first star, continuing his very good play here this preseason. Now for this game against the Rangers, we actually throw Issa Lindell in on our blue line unit for the first time, and we're actually going to have Jacob Markstrom in net as well, his first appearance in the preseason. The Rangers were the President's Trophy winners last year, and they were eliminated in the first round in 7 games against the Islanders. We give up 4 here in the second, although Will Cuylle gets his first of the preseason, a power play goal. And Markstrom, he gave up 3 goals. It was pulled 3 goals in 3 minutes and like 30 seconds. So not a good showing here from Markstrom in his first appearance. And Barry gets one in the third, and we drop this one 5-2. Just one game left in the preseason, and we are going to throw Mark Scheifele in the lineup, Tom Wilson, and kind of get more of a sense of a opening night lineup instead of just these random preseason lineups that we've been going on. Here are our new look lines for our preseason finale coming up against the Devils. We kept the first line the same with Gonzalez, Evans, and Zadina. Gonzalez 4 points in 4 games, a +2, so we'll give him the last game here, see how he performs. As we sent Will Cuylle down. He did not make the cut again this year, and we really just have to choose between Gonzalez, Clark, and McMichael. It'll be interesting to see. I think McMichael or Clark are probably going to make the roster, but it really does come down to this last game. McMichael showed some fight with 2 goals in the last performance. We have Mark Scheifele in the lineup for the first time on the 4th line, along with Tom Wilson, and we have reinserted Brock Boeser. He'll be on the 3rd line in this one with Lawton and Sam Steele. Esa Lindell is set for his 2nd game, a -2 in his first performance, just hanging down there with Sean Walker, Samuel Bolduc, and Tyson Barrie on the 2nd, with Ivan Provorov, Sami Maki still on the top line. Peter Mrazek will get the start, although Markstrom's first appearance was very worrisome. I think he gave up 3 goals on 15 shots. We would like to get him more playing time, but we don't really want to wear him down heading into the season with our regular season opener coming up. So Mrazek, he's only gotten 1 shot as well this preseason. We'll let him close it out for us here against the Devils. Now we're here from the XL Center for the final time this preseason with Jake Evans out there against Jack Hughes on the opening faceoff. Hughes wins that one, and the Devils will get us going here. Timo Meier over to Siegenthaler. And a steal there right off the bat by Zadina. A breakaway, and he's denied there by the pad. Zadina is our leading points getter so far in the preseason and has been making a huge impact. A good play there by Sami Maki, showing his length, getting the poke check. And Maki, he's up to an 81 overall now, a 4-point improvement from how he debuted last season. Now Hughes with it goes to Dougie Hamilton. The Devils missed the playoffs last year as Provorov's knocked down there by Bratt. The Devils did miss the playoffs. They'll look to rebound here as the Metro has been super competitive every season thus far in this series. Graeme Clark to Leo Carlson. Carlson over to Wilson. Tom Wilson takes it in. Gets some space. Works his way in front of shot. And a good save there. Rodriguez now with it for the Devils. Carlson feeds Clark, who will take it into the zone. Graeme Clark centering pass for Wilson. A shot. And a good save there by Schmid. Nico Hischier now on the draw for the Devils against Scott Lawton. And Hischier wins that one back to Hughes. That's Luke Hughes taking it in for New Jersey. Knocked over there. A good hit. As Lawton recovers. He'll give to Boeser, who had that hit. Now a chance the other way. Back for Steele. Steele over to Bolduc, and he can't handle that. Steele gets it back in front. And Schmid hangs on for that cover. Something else I wanted to touch on in this game. Daniil Tarasov was phenomenal in goal for our Hartford Whalers. I mean, we did sign Mrazek to be the backup, but if Mrazek doesn't play well and Tarasov continues to play well there in the AHL, we might make a swap there at goalie as Mrazek stops the first shot he faces. Holtz with it, a quick one, and Mrazek gets that one as well. And speaking of our goalie situation, Mrazek and Markstrom both with expiring deals, so we're going to have to completely overhaul our goaltending next year. Hopefully there's some guys on the market. I'll have to look into that after this game. Now Trenton takes it in for the Devils. Works his way in, and he scores! Just outbodied. I think that was Sean Walker trying to play defense there. And Trenton would not be denied. His 3rd goal of the preseason. The Devils up 1-0 now. Got a nice feed. That's actually Lindell. Just look, he carves right by Lindell. Gets in front and finishes. A good feed there by D'Angelo from the neutral zone. And an even better finish there by Trenton as Mrazek gets beat here early. Devils up 1-0. Bachfist now with it for the Devils. Good hit there by Maki, closing him off 1-on-1 as Tom Wilson feeds Carlson into the zone. Now Graeme Clark a chance. Blocker save, rebound, and Schmid denies him again. Clark trying to get one against his former squad. Rodriguez now works his way in. Dances a nice move there and a kick save by Mrazek. Rodriguez worked right in front. Now Siegenthaler's shot, and he scores. Gage Gonsalves was there in front, but really providing no physicality as Siegenthaler just ripped that one home. And then Rodriguez to Hischier. Back to Mercer. Good puck movement by the Devils. And that last pass wouldn't go. Lindell now leading it back for Hartford. A weird pass there as they turned it over. Hischier, a good feed there for Mercer. And the Devils are just clicking right now. And if the last performance for Mrazek and the start in this game is any indication of what's to come, he probably won't last long as our backup goalie. Now Brock Boeser, he's closed off there. Couldn't get a shot off. Mercer taking it in now with speed. A rip there in the slot by Hischier. And Mrazek loves that one. The Devils, like I said, just clicking on all cylinders right now. Now Scheifele out there against Trennan, who scored the first goal in this game. Marino shot from the point. And Mrazek being tested here corrals that one. And the Devils do end up with it as Scheifele lays out Marino. A huge hit there. Holtz now into the zone. A shot and a glove saved by Mrazek. He robbed Holtz on that one. What a glove. Sami Maki gives to McMichael. Just over 1 minute left in this first period. McMichael centering pass for Scheifele, a shot. And that was blocked by D'Angelo in front. Now Trennan takes it the other way. Good defense there in the neutral zone as now Connor McMichael takes it in. McMichael loses it after a hit. And now a light chance here. Tatar for the Devils. And that centering pass was closed off by Sami Maki. He's had a very strong preseason here. And we expect big progression from last year's #1 overall pick. The Devils get 2 here. As our defense kind of crumbled there. We have some work to do here in the second period. McMichael intercepts that one. Here on the penalty kill. Behind the net for Evans. Now Sami Maki over for McMichael in front. And they couldn't get the chance. Good puck movement there. Although they couldn't get that last one through. Now Hischier takes it in. The Devils on the power play. Starting pass for Hughes. And another good play there by the stick of Sami Maki. Really showing off his length in this game. Evans now into the zone. Shorthanded attempt. His shot. A save there by Schmid. Evans. 3 shorthanded goals last year. Tied for the league lead. Now Graeme Clark will dump it in as Hartford killed off the early power play from New Jersey. Good hit there by Clark. Starting pass for Wilson. And that chance was blocked in front. Graeme Clark has showed very good duress on the forecheck in this preseason. Timo Meier, his shot blocked in front by Samuel Bolduc. As Carlson will give to Tyson Barrie. Barrie now for Wilson. Wilson works his way in as he turns it over in front. And then absolutely lays out Luke Hughes. And then a hard hit there on Mercer. Wilson throwing the body in this game. McMichael now takes it in off another penalty kill from Hartford. Samuel Bolduc is shot, and that's saved. And now Zadina keeps it in the zone. McMichael in front for Evans. He shot and he scores! Filip Zadina again, creating an opportunity with the forecheck. And Jake Evans finishes that one. Look at Zadina. Keeps that in. Gives to McMichael. McMichael feeds Evans in front. And he finishes on the forehand as Hartford gets in the back of the net and makes this a 2-1 hockey game. Now off the faceoff, Tyson Barrie takes it in. A shot. Rebound. Evans now with it behind the net in front. And Gonsalves couldn't get that. Although he does recover there working against Dougie Hamilton. But Schmid there to stop that one. And Filip Zadina is a budding star. He's up to an 84 overall now with a low elite potential as he's really blossomed here with the Hartford Whalers. Provorov shot at the point blocked by Rodriguez, takes it the other way. Breakaway. And a good save there by Mrazek, denying Rodriguez of his second goal. Now Evans spins into the zone, closed off as Siegenthaler takes it. Sami Maki gives over to Graeme Clark. Clark a 2-on-1 here with Tom Wilson. Now back for Carlson, a shot blocker save. And that'll do it here in the second period. We get 1 off a tremendous play there from Filip Zadina. As we'll see here, feeds McMichael. And then Jake Evans finishes strong there. Hartford now down 2-1 as we enter what could be the final play here in year 3 preseason. Now Gonsalves enters the zone. Starting pass for Evans, a shot pad save. Now Zadina a chance in front, another pad save by Schmid. Good lateral quickness there across the crease as Sami Maki loses possession. Now Hamilton back for Bratt. Centering pass for Hamilton. Mrazek closes that one. And Zadina will take it out of harm's way. Mercer taking it in for the Devils. Shakes a man. Centering pass for Hamilton. And Sami Maki hooks Hischier there, who is going to probably have a good chance in front, as the Devils will head to their third power play of the game. Devils win the faceoff. Mercer a chance for Rodriguez. He scores backhand. His second goal of the game. And as I've stated, the puck movement and just creativity from the Devils doing damage here against this Hartford defense. Like, look at that. We have all four guys on one side of the ice, and that's not really going to get it done. A good play there off the faceoff as the Devils double their lead here in the third period. Luke Hughes with it for the Devils. Closed off there by Tyson Barrie, who gets tripped up. Barrie's still with it. Delayed penalty. A shot. Saved by Schmid as Hartford will head to the power play. Zadina taking it up now over a minute through this power play. Feed there for Boeser. Shot. Schmid closed that angle. Back to the point for Zadina, and he hits Karlsson in front. Karlsson had his back to the play. Graeme Clark feeds Sam Steele. Now Tom Wilson. His shot. Good save there by Schmid as the Devils kill off that Hartford power play. Sam Steele gives to Graeme Clark. Now Scott Lawton. Center pass for Wilson. Wilson stops. A shot saved by Schmid. And Hartford will head to another power play here. 10:57 left in the third as the Devils just finished killing one off. Another chance here for Hartford on the power play as they do win it. Barrie can't get that shot off. Closed off in traffic. Now Zadina. Zadina works his way in front of shot pad saved by Schmid. Boeser now for Scheifele. Back to the point for Karlsson. Now Barrie is shot through traffic. And Schmid snatches that one. 10:30 remaining. Scheifele good moves there to Barrie. A shot for Boeser. Off a good feed from Barrie. Boeser back with it. Gives to Karlsson. Karlsson pass there for Zadina. A rip that's gloved by Schmid. A better power play here for Hartford, but we can't get one to fall. Wilson with it now to the point for Clark. Clark for Provorov, a shot through traffic. Another save by Schmid. Now Sam Steele with it to Tom Wilson. Wilson back to the point for Provorov. And another save by Schmid. Stellar performance from him as the Devils are going to kill off another Hartford power play. Steele does take it into the zone, though, as he's overtaken there by Tony DeAngelo. Trenton now into the zone for the Devils. Tatar with it. Back for Trenton, a shot. Kick save into the corner by Mrazek. Now Siegenthaler from the point. Good play there by Steele, closing him off. Very strong shift here from Sam Steele. Provorov to Barrie, up for Evans, as he has a chance now. Evans a shot, and he scores! Jake Evans, his second goal of the game. A little triple deke action as he went to the backhand there and beat Schmid. Good skating there. And an even better finish from Evans, who I don't know if I mentioned is up to an 84 overall now. We re-signed him 2 years at just $1.9 million. And as I said in the last episode in the offseason, he's a fan favorite here in Hartford. Over to Hamilton in front for Tatar. And Holtz puts the rebound home. And the Devils get it right back. They now lead 4-2 with less than 5 remaining. Good shot there from Tatar in front and the rebound right to Holtz. And another defensive breakdown here for Hartford. We're just not getting any push from our back unit. Now just less than 10 seconds left. And that's probably going to do it here in this one. Timo Meier, one last chance here. Is that saved by Mrazek. And that'll boost the save percentage a little bit. Hartford falls here 4-2. As we do get 2 goals from Jake Evans. And that'll wrap up the preseason here. I know it probably wasn't the most interesting episode. You know, kind of dull stuff here in the preseason. But, you know, it's important to highlight some guys we haven't really seen so far in the series. Especially when they're kind of in the thick of it in these position battles fighting for a roster spot. After this game, we're going to go back and make our last roster moves. And I'll show you a finalized line. I'll show you our finalized lines that we're going to be using in Game 1 against San Jose in the next episode. Now to close this preseason episode, we'll review some stats real quick. And Filip Zadina led our team with 9 points, 3 goals, 6 assists. Ivan Provorov, newly signed from Columbus, with 8 points, a +4. And it turns out he has elite exact potential, so we could see a Ivan Provorov kind of take his game to another level here in Hartford. A very promising start for him. There's Jake Evans. We saw a pair of goals from him in that game against the Devils. Samuel Bolduc is going to enter as our 7th defenseman, but we will try to mix him in every few games. Still 24 years old, good size at 6'4", 220, and a great defensive presence. Good to see him get some offensive production in this preseason. A bunch of guys here with 3 goals: Arvidsson, Lawton, McMichael, Orlov, Barry. Leo Carlsson, only 3 assists for him, although he is up to an 84 overall. So we're going to see him kind of take his game to another level here at only 20 years old. Sam Steele, disappointing. Only 2 points in 8 games, a -6. Mangiapane, a pair of assists. Same for Patrick. Brock Boeser, only 1 goal in 4 games, as we saw earlier in the episode. Graeme Clark is going to open on the roster, but he is going to be scratched. So he's someone else we're going to mix in every now and then. Only 1 goal, although he was very strong on the forecheck. So I kind of like his presence there. Our head coach likes him a lot as well. I've seen in like chemistry with the coach. Mark Scheifele only played 1 game. Wilson only played 1 game. Sammy Maki, no points, a -5. Although he had a much stronger defensive presence than he has shown last season, and I think he, along with Carlston, who I mentioned, is going to take his game to another level as well. Very good ratings overall, and he was drafted number 1 overall for a reason. Now for goalies, we only see Mrazek and Markstrom here. Not good showings for them in a limited sample size. And now here's a look at our lines that we're going to enter the season with. We're going to keep Zadina on the top line, a tremendous preseason from him. He really stepped his game up to another level last year. Career highs across the board, ended with 47 points, and he's just always making big plays, whether he has the puck, without the puck, and he's just one of our more trustworthy players right now, and he's seemingly about to hit his prime. Of course, we'll have Mark Scheifele up there as our center. 75 points last year, led our team. Brock Boeser, newly signed, is going to open up on the first line as our right wing, trying to replace Patrick Kane there. 27 goals last year, 31 the year before, and we think he could have another 30-goal season here. The second line is 2 two-way forwards and a power forward, so an interesting combination here. Andrew Mangiapane, our captain, he re-signed in the offseason. A very consistent, reliable player. Jake Evans is stepping up his play, a career year last year, and it turns out he's up to an 84 overall now. So tremendous growth from him, and he's been very reliable and consistent for us. Now on the second line, after spending most of his time, pretty much his whole time here on the fourth line. Tom Wilson was decent last year in his first season as a member of the Whalers. Points down a little bit from the previous year, but very physical presence out there. Just hits everybody, a human just wrecking ball out there. So we'll probably move him between the first and third lines. Start with him now in the second. On the third line, we have Leo Carlsson at left wing. His production pretty much about the same as his rookie year. We didn't quite get a big improvement from him, but this year he's poised for just a big season. Let's try and get 50 points out of Carlsson. Then we have Scott Lawton in a contract year. Probably his last season here in Hartford. It seems like he's regressing a little bit, although he's been very solid for us and just a good, solid player. Arvidsson will be on the third line, someone we might move at some point as we try to probably work Graeme Clark into the lineup more. His production was down after his first season in Hartford, but still a good veteran and a solid third-line type guy, a right-handed sniper. Then this final line will have Marcus Foligno opening, although he'll be substituted in and out for guys like Clark and McMichael. Sam Steele, his former teammate in Minnesota, will open on the fourth line after being signed in free agency. And then finally, Nolan Patrick will open on the fourth line as he spent most of his time here. A career year from him, even though he missed 10 games. So someone we expect to continue that solid production on the fourth line as he does have that elite potential. Now for the blue line, we're going to open with Sammy Maki, our 19-year-old first overall defenseman from last year, on the top pairing, alongside here with newly signed Ivan Provorov, who just stood out. Tremendous performance from him. 8 points in 8 games there. We expect him to be our top defenseman this year after bringing him over in free agency. Issa Lindell we traded for at the deadline. He was our top defenseman last year to close the season. Solid overall two-way defenseman. Someone we can rotate between the first and second pairings. Tyson Barrie, his 3rd season. He's been along for the entire ride here with the Whalers. Probably his last season, as he's now 34 and regressing, although we still like his ability as an offensive defenseman. Then here on the final line, we have Dmitry Orlov, which it'll be his last season here in Hartford, so we'll have 2 spots on defense going into next season, as we'll most likely move on from Orlov and Barrie. Sean Walker is here as well, and just a solid third-line defenseman. Really like him on that 3rd pairing. Then, of course, at goalie, we have Jacob Markstrom, who was phenomenal last season. We'll take another look at his numbers. Here we go. 26, 12, and 5. He missed like 2 months, but still 5 shutouts, a .918 save percentage, .249 goals against. Pretty much his 2nd best season, just based on those numbers, aside from his insane 2021-2022 season there with Calgary. We'll have Peter Mrazek as our backup goalie, although he struggled mightily there in a limited sample size in the preseason. He started for Chicago like the past 2.5 seasons, so I think he could probably excel here in a backup role to Jacob Markstrom. And now we'll look at the Poughkeepsie Panthers, and our top line here consists of Will Cuylle, Gage Gonsalves, and Jacob Perrault, 3 guys who were competing for a roster spot and kind of just missed out there to Graeme Clark and Connor McMichael. Gonsalves was great in the preseason, Perrault was all right, and Cuylle really didn't provide much, although 3 capable players, and I expect them to just continue where they left off with their AHL dominance. And an injury or two, 1 or 2 of these guys are going to be up with the NHL club. Now on defense, I just want to bring your attention to the 2nd pairing, which consists of Daniil Cuylle, 22 years old, and we traded for him in year 1 at the trade deadline for Matt Grzelcyk. We expect him to take another step forward, and he's probably only a year away from seeing time in the NHL. Then there's Hunter Brzustewicz, our 2nd round pick in our inaugural entry draft back there in episode 2, a right-handed defenseman who's now in the AHL after spending previous years in the juniors with the Kitchener Rangers. Cuylle and Brzustewicz are 2 guys we expect to develop and eventually make the NHL club, so we'll certainly monitor their progression down here. Then we have at goalie Daniil Tarasov and Arthur Silovs, and we're also going to mix in Scott Ratzlav here. He was our 3rd round pick in our inaugural draft. So we're starting to see some of these guys we've drafted work their way up from juniors, and even next year we'll have an even bigger influx with like 6 or 7 prospects that we drafted last offseason that'll be bumping up. Now to close this episode, we'll just look at some league leaders real quick in the preseason, see who stood out there. It was kind of a bummer because we played Philadelphia in the first game, and they drafted Jyrki Kontanen number 1 overall, and he had a franchise level potential, so I was hoping to see him, but they didn't have him in the lineup for that game. So McDavid and Draisaitl at the top. Dylan Cousins, Buffalo had a tremendous year last year, looking to build on that as they did win the Atlantic Division. And really, that's about it. I mean, Ovechkin's still with the Capitals, so this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you for sticking out with this preseason episode. I know it's not the most exciting stuff, but, we got to get down to the nitty-gritty, and that's what we do here in this franchise series. Next episode, we're going to open year 3 already, folks. So if you've been hanging around for this franchise, I really appreciate it. I love what's going on here. We made the playoffs last year, and let's hope that we can build on that with a strong start here next episode and kind of get another playoff run going. So as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.